You've seen it. At every big car show or meet, there's always one build that steals the attention of just about everyone for good or bad reason. The car with the wildest wrap you've ever seen. Maybe it's covered in anime characters, neon colors, or something so outlandish that you can't help but take a second look and wonder what watch list they are on. This, my friends, is the Itasha build. For the uninitiated, Itasha is a subculture of car customization that blends the love for anime, video games, and pop culture with automotive customization in ways that are interesting or unapologetic. But how did this movement start? Why do people do it? And should you be thinking about throwing an anime wrap on your car? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Itasha. What even is Itasha? Before you throw the anime wrap on, let's talk about where this all came from. In Japan, Itasha directly translates to painful car. That sounds pretty harsh, right? But there's a reason for it. In the early 2000s, the term referred to how painfully cringeworthy these cars were to look at least to people who weren't part of the otaku, anime, and gaming culture. But to the fans who embraced Itasha, this wasn't cringe, it was art. At its core, Itasha is about celebrating your fandom in the most over-the-top way possible. You love an anime? Then you slap those characters all over your car. It's like wearing your heart on your sleeve, except your sleeve is a 2008 Nissan Altima covered in custom vinyl. What started as a small niche trend in Japan has blown into a global phenomenon, with Itasha builds making appearances at everything from anime conventions to drift events to TwitchCon. In fact, some car enthusiasts even argue that Itasha builds should be considered rolling fan art. But as wild and loud as these builds are, they come from a culture of passion and creativity that's undeniable. Now, the origins of Itasha. Why are anime characters on cars? You could trace the roots of Itasha back to Japan's Akihabara district, the mecca for all things otaku. If you've ever been to Akihabara, it's basically like stepping into an alternate universe where anime, video games, and electronics have their own ecosystem. It's here, in the early 2000s, that car enthusiasts began plastering their rides with decals of their favorite anime characters. The idea of customizing your car with personal touches, of course, is not new, but Itasha took things to the next level. Instead of a simple bumper sticker or like a racing stripe, Itasha builders go full tilt. We're talking entire body wraps on the cars, featuring incredibly detailed illustrations of anime girls, mechas, or mascots from your favorite RPG. Itasha cars became a canvas and the owner's artists. At first, this wasn't taken very seriously. It was considered a niche within a niche, and people outside the anime or car world didn't really know what to make of it. But over time, what was once considered cringe evolved into a genuine art form, and now you can find Itasha cars at car shows worldwide. In Japan, there are even entire festivals dedicated to Itasha cars, where enthusiasts gather to showcase their latest creations, meet like-minded otakus, and celebrate their fandom in the most public way possible. These cars became more than just transportation for these enthusiasts. They became a cultural movement for them. Alright, so why go through all the trouble of building an Itasha car? Well, first off, it's a personal expression. We all know car culture is about showing off what you love, whether it's power and performance, a clean aesthetic, or something in the middle. For Itasha builders, this is just another layer to that. It's about taking your two biggest passions, anime and cars, and mashing them together in the most visually extreme way possible. If you're into anime, it's one thing to wear a hoodie with your favorite character on it. It's another to plaster that character across the entire side of your car. For many enthusiasts, Itasha builds are a way of saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Itasha builds also tap into something that's important to a lot of car guys, standing out. In a sea of TE37s and lowered cars, whether it's stance cars, track cars, whatever, Itasha builds always stand out. You're not just showing up to the car meet, you're shutting down the meet. People are always staring at your car. Then, of course, there's the community. In the same way that every car guy bonds over their builds, Itasha builders bond over their shared love for the fandom. It's a super tight community, and these cars often open doors to meet people who share the same love for anime or gaming. So, you've gotten this far in the video. Now you're thinking about transforming your car into a rolling anime tribute. Well, what's involved? First, you've got to decide what you're repping. Most Itasha builds feature characters from popular anime series or video games. Think like Attack on Titan, Final Fantasy. I don't really watch anime, so there you go. But the thing that makes Itasha builds special is they often feature fan favorite niche characters that resonate personally with the owner. Once you've locked down your theme, the next step is designing the vinyl wrap. A lot of Itasha enthusiasts work with professional design studios to create these intricate, detailed wraps. You're not just like taking a cheap sticker and slapping it on, you're doing the full body of your car, so there's multiple layers of artwork involved. Getting the design just right can take weeks of planning, revisions, and tinkering with the graphics and how they fit on the car. It's common for these wraps to feature multiple characters or scenes, with some designs even extending to like the wheels, the mirrors, the arrow, every square inch of the car becoming part of the canvas. But here's where things get tricky, because vinyl vinyl wraps aren't cheap, especially when you're covering the entire car in a custom printed design. A high quality Itasha wrap, you're looking at like $5,000 plus these days, depending on the complexity and the quality of the work. If you're getting the livery made overseas, wrapping the car here, it could even be higher, to be honest with you. They can't just slap an anime wrap on any old car. A lot of Itasha builds are actually based on some seriously cool platforms. In Japan, you see a lot of stuff like the Sylvia, the 86, the RX-7, the GTR. They're all popular bases for Itasha builds, but you're also going to see things like K-cars, Suzuki Altos, and Daihatsu Kopens, wrapped in crazy designs. So let's talk about the downsides here. They're undeniably cool if you're into that kind of thing, but they're also really polarizing. These cars aren't for everyone. Some people think it's ridiculous or that plastering your car with anime characters ruins its aesthetic. That's totally fair. It's also worth noting that these wraps can be a huge pain to maintain. Vinyl wraps can be delicate. Sun exposure, road debris, and even automatic car washes can cause the wrap to fade or peel. That means if you're gonna go the Itasha route, you gotta be dedicated to that 2-bucket method and hand washing it at home. Many owners choose to store their Itashas indoors or invest in high-quality wraps that resist UV damage or wear. Then there's the question of resale value. Let's be honest, not everyone wants to buy a car with a giant anime girl on the hood. So the money you're dumping into the wrap, you're gonna have to remove it before selling it, which can be a pain in the butt and adds to the cost of the car. Since wraps can leave residue or damage the paint underneath, there's always the risk of needing additional paintwork once you've removed the wrap. Now, if you're someone who's looking at a clean JDM style build and thinking, hey, that's cool, but how can I make it even more insane, then Itasha might be your thing. But if you're more of a purist who thinks the design of the car itself should do the talking, an Itasha build might seem a bit over the top. It all comes down to your personal style. If you're into anime, you're into gaming, you're into cars, Itasha's the fusion of all these three things put together. You can show up to a meet, you can rep your favorite anime, while also parking next to some seriously well-built cars. And if you really want to go all out, you can pair your Itasha wrap with like a serious performance setup to back up the car's new look. So, is it worth it? Should you build an Itasha car? It's not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. It's loud, it's garish, it's in your face, and it's going to get positive and negative attention. If you're passionate about anime culture and car culture, there's nothing else like it. It's great to create something that's uniquely yours and fully customized to reflect your personality. Whether or not Itasha's for you, well, it depends on who you are. Personally, I don't watch anime, so it's probably not for me. But if you're a big anime fan and you want to rep that on your car, it could be for you. This is one of those videos where there's no clear answer to whether or not it's worth it. Is it worth it for me? No. Is it worth it for the guy sitting over there? It could be. Could it be worth it for you? Absolutely. Whether you have an Itasha car or a non-Itasha car, love him, hate him, whatever, drop a comment down below with your thoughts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, pick up some new wheels for your Itasha or otherwise build from our website, and I'll see you in the next one.